Hello, you're watching The Big Story with me, Chiao Suen. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel to stay up to date with our live news updates. Now, two self-radicalized Singaporean teenagers have been issued orders under the Internal Security Act. One of them is a 15-year-old who has been detained under the Act, while a 16-year-old has been issued a restriction order. The 15-year-old was arrested last December and is the youngest individual arrested for terrorism-related activities to date. The Secondary 3 student was looking to conduct attacks in Singapore and wanted to establish an Islamic caliphate in the country through violent means. The Internal Security Department found the teen had been self-radicalized by online terrorist propaganda and was supportive of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. He also considered traveling to Afghanistan as he wanted to live in an Islamic caliphate governed by Sharia law. He unsuccessfully tried to radicalize his classmates and also failed to convince two foreign online contacts to join him in undertaking armed violence. ISD said the boy believed armed violence and even killings were permissible against disbelievers, which included Shia and Sufi Muslims as well as non-Muslims. The 15-year-old considered conducting knife attacks to behead non-Muslims in popular tourist areas in Singapore late last year. He also thought about being a suicide bomber, but was arrested before he could carry out any of his plans or violent intentions. The second teen, aged 16, was issued with a restriction order last month, but he has actually been on the ISD's radar since November 2020, when he was only 14 years old. Investigations at the time found that he had an interest in far-right extremist content, including those that were anti-Semitic and supportive of neo-Nazi groups. He was also attracted to Islamic end-time prophecies and ISIS jihadi songs. The teen was cautioned by ISD to steer clear of extremist content online after being found to be vulnerable to radicalization. Despite the warnings, he continued consuming ISIS propaganda and took part in ISIS-related discussions on social media. He also joined multiple ISIS-themed servers on online gaming platform ROBLOX, where the virtual game settings replicated physical ISIS conflict zones. There, he took a pledge of allegiance to an in-game ISIS leader. The teen said his violent actions in support of ISIS in the game were intended to mimic his desire to be an ISIS member in real life. And between late 2021 and early last year, he created and uploaded 3 ISIS propaganda videos. He added ISIS songs and superimposed images of an ISIS flag to his Roblox game footage of virtual ISIS factions conducting attacks to create in the video. And starting March 1st, some drivers and administrators will be seeing an increase in their wages. About 5,000 drivers and 32,000 administrators who are working full-time will benefit from this as the progressive wage model kicks in for Singaporeans and permanent residents working in both occupations. This marks the first time the model, which stipulates a wage ladder pegged to training and productivity improvements, applies to those working in selected occupations across all sectors. General drivers can now expect a gross monthly salary of at least $1,750, while administrative assistants can now expect to earn at least $1,500. PAYNOW users who are customers at certain financial institutions can now use the real-time funds transfer service to send money to others in India. This comes after a linkage between the service and Indian counterpart United Payments Interface was launched today. It's part of wider efforts to enhance the infrastructure for cross-border payments. The feature, first announced in September 2021, will be available to customers of DBS and fintech company Liquid Group under a phased approach, increasing the number of eligible users and transaction limits until the end of March. Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong and his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi virtually witnessed the launch, with Mr. Lee hailing the idea that was first mooted in 2018 when Mr. Modi visited Singapore becoming a reality.
The PayNow UPI linkage will offer cheaper, faster and safer cross-border retail payments and remittances for businesses and individuals alike, directly between bank accounts or e-wallets. It's convenience at your fingertips, paying using just your mobile phone number, your UPI identity, or your virtual payment address, the VPA. The PayNow UPI linkage is India's first cross-border real-time payment systems linkage and Singapore's second. It's also the world's first such linkage to feature cloud-based infrastructure and participation by non-bank financial institutions. As we progressively add more users and use cases, the PayNow UPI linkage will grow in utility and contribute more to facilitating our trade and our people-to-people links.
And those are our top stories for today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by hitting the red button below. I'm Xiao Suen, and I'll see you tomorrow on The Big Story.